Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, hello, lovely to meet you. Today I am filming something very different from what I have ever filmed, ever blogged about, ever put anything on social media about before. I have got my coffee in my sassy mug, because you know, that's me. And I have got my bag of buttons, because I might get hungry. I am going to make myself comfy right now, because I feel like I'm going to be here for a hella long time. And you need to go and grab your coffee, or tea, hot chocolate, whatever your drink of choice is. Preferably some buttons, or, you know, a snack of your choice. Get yourself comfy. I do now have a hair in my mouth. And we are going to have a nice long chat together about something that, I'm not going to lie, kind of scares me to talk about in some ways. I need to get myself comfy. Na, 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 na. Do you like my little candle in the background, by the way? It's a Yankee candle, and it smells so freaking nice because it's autumn and it's got that autumny smell and like Anyway, so as you can tell by the title, this is an extremely personal subject to me, and it's something that I never shy away from or hide from anybody. I am so open to talking about. Like, I've never wanted it to be a secret from people. If anybody has ever asked me about it, then I will straight up tell them about it. It doesn't bother me in that way. I think why I said before about it scaring me is, it's not exactly scary, it's more nervous because I've never, sorry, I have like fluff up something. I'm really getting quite warm. It's so warm in here, and it's like the 10th of October or the 11th, or I don't know, but I really like this fluffy cardigan. I might do it like off the shoulder like that. There we go. How does that look? Okay, we'll maybe roll with that for a little while, see how it goes. So yeah, it kind of makes me nervous because I have never put it out there on social media, any of my platforms, that I have a lung condition. So I have a lung condition. I have had it pretty much all my life, and it is bronchiectasis. Please don't ask me how to spell that, because I have no idea. Yeah, you might think that I should. You might be like, you have a lung condition and you can't even spell that name. I don't have to write it. I just have to live with it. So, you know. Anyway, I have a lung condition. I have bronchiectasis. And I've had it for as long as I can remember. I was diagnosed with it at 4 years old. Years of age. But I'm not going to talk about from then. I'm going to talk about the very beginning and what caused this lung condition. So, I was born May the 5th. Everything normal. I wasn't early. I don't think I was too late. I might have been slightly late, but not very late. That was all okay then. 2 weeks after that, I was 2 weeks old, and I became seriously ill, and I got rushed to hospital, and it turned out that I had meningitis and group B strep. Now the two together, well, either one separately, but the two together was major, and I got put in ICU. I got put on life support. Well, it was one up from that. It was an oscillator, which I think is, from what I've been told, is the strongest form of life support that you can be on. My parents basically got told that they should prepare themselves for the worst because they'd need a miracle for me to survive. I got christened in hospital because they didn't think I was going to ever get out. And it was important to both my parents that I was christened. So the hospital priest came and christened me in the hospital. It was just my mum and dad there, and a load of lovely nurses that I luckily went on to know really well and have a lovely relationship with them. So that happened, and I was extremely ill for a long time. I was on the children's ward for a while, and then, like I say, somewhere along there I was on ICU as well, and that lasted for a little while, and then suddenly I turned a corner for the better, and got to the point where I didn't need the oscillator anymore, and I was much stronger without it. And even to this day, the doctors that were there and the nurses that were there and since can't really explain why I survived, because in theory I shouldn't have survived that. Like the doctor said at the time to my parents, I needed a miracle to survive. Whatever miracle that was and however that came, that miracle happened, thank God. And as you can see, because I'm here today talking to you guys about it, yeah, so that happened. I was still in hospital for a very long time after. But yeah, I became much stronger, much healthier, and I was okay. I came home many weeks later. Yeah. Then there was signs a few years on that things maybe weren't quite right. Now, I was very lucky, because although I have ended up with a lung condition and part of my brain damaged, well, first of all, obviously I could have died, and that was the amazing thing that I didn't. But I also could have ended up with limbs missing, I could have been blind, I could have had severe brain damage to the point sort of where I, you know, might not have been able to talk, might not have been able to do things for myself. But none of that happened, and incredibly, I am relatively okay. Like, I'm pretty good. I was diagnosed at the age of 4 with bronchiectasis, which is a lung condition, and they believe that what caused that lung condition was the oscillator damaging my lungs, because although it kept me alive, it was so strong and so severe, and especially for a tiny baby, it did damage. Oh, damn it, sorry, that was my phone. I have not put this on silent. 1 minute. Oh, it's my mom. I love my mom so much. She messaged me saying that I said to her yesterday that I really wanted a strawberry tart. I don't know why, you know, you just get these urges for things that you don't even really have. Like, I cannot remember last time I had one, but I really wanted one, but neither of us were going out yesterday. Today my mum's at work, so she said, right, I'll get you one tomorrow. And then I told her that we needed hot chocolate as well this morning, and so she's texted me that she's got the hot chocolate, but she can't find any strawberry tarts for love nor money. Oh, I just love it. I'd completely forgotten, to be honest. Like, yeah. Anyway, got my coffee. I need a drink. All this talking is definitely going to make me thirsty. So, where was I up to? Yeah, so the oscillator did damage my lungs. That is what they think has caused the bronchiectasis. As far as I'm aware, there's no definite proof, as it were, but they are pretty pretty certain as they can be, that that is what caused the damage. So it is, I always get mixed up with which side it is, because there is a side that is most affected, one side of my lungs, and then there's a little bit on the other. It's mostly in my right side, and then there's a little bit in my left. Yeah, so that is the way it is. How does it affect me? It affects me the most in getting chest infections. So because my lungs are damaged, I am more prone to getting chest infections a lot easier, and that is what's happened for years. Now it's a lot better, but when I was younger, that was my thing, getting chest infections. That is what would happen on a pretty regular basis. So going back to 4 years of age, I got diagnosed when I was 4. I'm pretty certain, was it that week? I'm pretty certain it was the same week that I was supposed to be starting primary school that I was in hospital and got diagnosed. Unless, okay, that might have been when I got my tonsils taken out. No, I'm not sure. Anyway, I was 4 years of age, and after that I had open access to a children's ward. I was in and out of there a lot. It, like, to the point where it became my second home pretty much. All the staff were almost like family. We always had, or my mum always had a bag packed ready, sort of just in case, like she'd have it there, so if we suddenly needed to go or whatever, it was ready. And it wasn't that sort of like I couldn't breathe or anything like that. It was, okay, so the first signs for me with a chest infection is that I usually get pain either in down my ribs, across the middle of my chest, or on my shoulder, either side. So that would be the first noticeable signs. And I'd be coughing a lot more. So a lot of the time, I'm on, sorry, let me go back a minute. I am on, and for as long as I can remember I have been, on a prophylaxis, which means I'm on permanent medication. So every single day I take one tablet twice a day, and that basically tries to keep the chest infections at bay. And for a long time it was hard and it didn't work. They struggled to find the right antibiotic to put me on, and I'd say it must have been 5 years ago, maybe more, that they decided to change it to the one I'm on now. It's worked really well, touch wood. It's worked so good for me. Now that isn't saying that that'd be the case for everybody, like this same antibiotic. It's just things suit different people better, and that's basically how it happens, sort of. Yeah, so I'm on that now. But before, at one stage when I was a child, I was averaging a chest infection every 6 weeks roughly. And what would happen usually is, well no, what would always happen would be my mum would ring the children's ward, tell them what was happening, what my symptoms were. They'd inevitably usually say, bring her in. And I would see the consultant that I was under at that time. So I'd go in, I'd see a consultant, I'd usually have a chest x-ray. I'd usually be waiting around for quite a few hours. Sometimes I would go on an oral antibiotic and I'd just go home with that. Then quite a lot of the time they would decide to put me on intravenous antibiotics, because most of the time they work the best. Now, if you don't know what that is, it is basically a needle that will go into your veins with a cannula on it, or a long line sometimes. And that then can stay in. They'll like tape it up so it stays there, put a bandage over it if you're going out or whatever. and they put the medication in through that. And it's not, or it shouldn't be painful once it's in. Getting it in can be sore. It's not, I mean, I have quite a high pain threshold, as like I've been having these since I was 4 and maybe younger. I can't remember what really happened before, but I know certainly after 4 there was a lot. So I've sort of pretty used to them, and I know the drill. You know, you go in. They were really good because I was a child. They used to put this cream on the area that they'd be using and like to numb it a little bit. And they were just all so lovely there, and they made it really nice. But because I had this treatment so much, my veins did become very thin. Even now, I think they can be a little bit thin and not as good as they could be, because they got used so much. Because once they've been prodded and poked so many times, they give up and they don't want to appear. So yeah, that was probably the roughest bit through it, having to keep going in and keep having these cannulas in. Because like I say, at one point I was averaging a chest infection about every 6 weeks. So every 6 weeks I'd then be on intravenous antibiotics again. Which, yeah, like I say, that was probably the roughest side of it, really. And obviously like feeling ill with a chest infection, that wasn't great. But you know, like as in, because sometimes when it got to the later stage, like when I was a bit older and they'd used up so many veins, we could be in the treatment room for like an hour, 2 hours sometimes, trying to get a cannula in, because it just wasn't happening, like because of my veins that they'd given up so much. So yeah, that was probably the roughest part of it. I'm saying was because I suddenly started to turn a corner, which was what they thought would happen as I grew older and I grew stronger. They didn't think that I would have as many chest infections, and that is very, very true. I haven't. And since I've been under adults care, touch wood, I have not had to have the intravenous antibiotics. I have had chest infections. I've had 1 chest infection, and I've been under adults care now for over a year, way over a year, definitely. A year, between 1.5 years and 2 years. So, which is incredible when you think back to the fact that at one stage when I was younger, I was having a chest infection every 6 weeks. So, sometimes I would stay in a hospital when I was on intravenous antibiotics, and then sometimes I could come home, which was really nice. And the nurses would come out. Sorry, I thought it was raining. Oh god, now somebody's ringing me. Right, I'm gonna have to ring them back because I'm just gonna lose my flow otherwise. Ugh. Get myself comfy again. Yeah, so where was I? Something I will say, like, I've made this video primarily for if you have a lung condition too, if you're a parent of somebody who does, or, you know, have a family member who does. And I think it's really important to know that, like, obviously if they're a child getting diagnosed with it, it isn't the end of the world. Like, of course nobody wants to have a lifelong condition, I suppose, because this is something that I will never get rid of. But you can get stronger. Like now, I am much, much better. I hardly ever get a chest infection. Yes, I have to take a tablet or 2 tablets each day, but actually, after you've sat in a hospital time and time again, having these different antibiotics, these different intravenous antibiotics, it really isn't that big of a deal. And it's a hell of a lot better to the alternative of being ill all the time. And it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It's something, people think, oh, you know, I don't want to be on medication all the time. Maybe not, but it is definitely better than the alternative. It isn't the worst thing in the world having a lung condition. It really isn't. There is so many things that could be so much worse to have. You know, obviously I've never really known any different from what I can remember. Like, it's always been there, and but my parents have always told me, like, never let it make you think that you can't do anything. And you appreciate the times when you're well, but you know, you also still appreciate the time when you're not so great, because I have so many memories of being in hospital, being there and staying there. But I have really nice memories of that time as well, which sounds strange because obviously I was ill and nobody likes being in hospital. But I was lucky that when I was little, my mum always stayed with me, because I'm an only child, so she was able to stay with me. And I built up a real relationship with all the nurses and the doctors at the hospital that I was treated at. So it wouldn't be as scary, because you know the people that you're going to see there, and you get to know what's going to happen usually. So it's okay. I have many nice memories and funny memories, even of things that might not really seem that funny at the time. You have to laugh about later. My back is really hurting me, which by the way has nothing to do with the lung condition. It's just that I'm like, my body's like a 90-year-old woman. I just can't even. Which I do promise that has nothing to do with the lung condition. Don't think, if you have a lung condition, don't think, oh my god, by the time I get to her age, I am gonna be like a 90-year-old woman. No. It's just me. I don't know. I don't know. It's just one of those. Anyway, there's some of the loveliest people there that I met, and yeah. So, what else? I don't know what else there is to say. So I did mention as well at the beginning actually that I do have slight brain damage from it, which is true in that through my vision. So it's not that like I function completely fine, it's just that I have a vision problem, which means I am partially sighted, which did come from the oscillator that damaged the part of my brain that's to do with my vision. Therefore, glasses wouldn't help, which is why I don't wear them. I do have a pair of glasses that are basically like having magnifying glasses. Like, I don't wear them very much. It's only if I'm trying to read something, and with those I don't wear them for a very long time because they are so strong. That basically means that, like, with the vision problem, that I can't read really small print. I have to have it, well, comfortably I'd be reading it at 0.22, 24, somewhere around that. Probably 22. Right, sorry about that. My camera just told me that my SD card was full. So, I am going to wrap this up shortly. I cannot remember in truth where I was up to. I know that I was talking about my vision. I think I pretty much said about that, because this isn't what that video was supposed to be anyway. Yeah, it was, so I've had it, I will have it all my life, and yeah, that is the truth of it. I have an appointment with the lung specialist once a year now, just to check everything's going okay and things. I do physio as well daily, and exercise is really important. I mean, I love exercise in the gym anyway, but for the sake of my lungs and keeping my lungs healthy, it is very important that I do cardio to keep them healthy. Yeah, it's been a funny one, because also because of the bronchiectasis and being ill a lot. I did miss a lot of school as well, but I was really lucky and I had such great friends, and it didn't affect that, you know, being off so much, being away. I had great friends through primary school and through high school, and yeah, there was people around me all the time, and it was, yeah. So I think my biggest piece of advice would be always laugh where you can, always try and find humour. I mean, me and my mum are people who always do that in life anyway. We love to laugh and have a joke about things. And for us that was really important. You know, when I was in hospital, when I was ill, to get through that, we just laughed so much. We found anything we could to laugh at, and that was something really important for us. Yeah, find what you can to make you laugh, because it makes it go a lot better, and you might not think it at the time, but actually you will look back on it and have nice memories then, despite maybe being in hospital or whatever, or not being well. You will still have nice memories to look back on and laugh at. I think that is a really important thing to have, where you can say, yeah, it might have been a bit of a crappy time because I was ill or I was in hospital, or my daughter or my son was, but actually we created some really nice memories because we laughed a lot. And you know, me and my mum played games, like whether it was card games or whatever, read, yeah, so yeah, we had a lot of nice memories as among the crappy times as well. Would I go back and change things? That's a really tough question, because I am a huge believer in that everything happens for a reason, and if it changed as well, I wouldn't have the memories I have. I wouldn't have spent so much time with mum. I wouldn't have got to know some of the people that I've got to know, and who I still call friends. You know, now I've left the children's ward, I'm friends with some of the nurses and doctors on Facebook, and yeah, I have made genuine friends and have a lot of people there that I care about. Yeah, I don't like to have regrets in life. I think it's I mean, obviously it's not really something that you can regret, like it just happens. It was nobody's fault, really. It was there's nothing you can do about these situations, and like I say, if I hadn't have had that, I wouldn't have got to know people I know and had have the memories that I have. So yeah, I think it's, yeah, if you have sort of either yourself, if you have a lung condition, or you have a child who has just been diagnosed, or you know, whenever was diagnosed, I don't think it's going to be all bad. There's a lot of times that you can have that are good as well within that. So yeah, enjoy life, make the most of what you have. I think that's probably the best advice I can give. Make the most of any time, whether it's in hospital, whether it's not. Make the most of it, because you will still come out with some pretty good memories if you can laugh and make the most of it. Right, I'm going to go now because I kind of feel like I don't really have much more to say. If there are any topics or areas that I haven't covered, or anything you'd like to know, maybe any questions that you have, I am happy to answer any of them. So please do leave them in the comments, or if you don't want it to be that open, I will leave links to my social medias and you can direct message me on there, or email me if you want. I'll leave an email address. You can do it any which way like that. But yeah, please ask me and I will answer as best I can. Yeah, I hope, I don't know if enjoyed's the right word, but I hope this may have been helpful to you, informative. And yeah, if you would like, this isn't usually what I do, as I said at the beginning, so if you would like to see more of what I do usually do, hit the subscribe button anywhere along. And yeah, like I say, if you felt this was informative, then I'm really, really pleased. And hopefully I will see you in my next video, whatever that might be. I'm not too sure yet. But yeah, it'd be great to see you back here again if you would like to see more. Hope you have a great having a great weekend, guys, and I will see you soon.